In this video, we're going to talk about IXL's Algebra 1, or Level K, AA.6, Factoring Quadratics Special Cases. First question that you will see on the IXL is factoring a difference of squares. And factoring a difference of squares, you're going to use this generic formula, a squared minus b squared, okay? And that's going to equal a plus b, a minus b. It doesn't matter if you have a capital B, lowercase b. I just do it capital so I don't confuse anybody with it as a 6. So we have a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. Well, what does that mean? Let's say we have 9f squared minus 25, okay? If you notice, 9 is a perfect square, f squared is a perfect square, 25 is a perfect square. What does that mean? Well, here we have a squared. What's the opposite of a squared? Well, the opposite of squaring something is the square root. So if I took the square root of 9f squared, I would get 3f. If I took the square root of 25, I would get 5. So our answer is a plus b, a minus b. Well, this is our a, this is our b. Okay, if we like highlighting, we'll do that for you. So here's our a, and then here is our b. So now we simply fill in these parentheses. So we have 3f minus 5, or plus 5, doesn't matter, 3f minus 5. That is our answer. So essentially you're always just going to take the square root of the first term, square root of the second term, draw your parentheses, plug them in accordingly, and the signs are going to be opposite. Okay, so another one you might see is something like 49t squared minus 81. Well, 49t squared, take the square root, that's 7t. 81 square root is 9. So my answer must be 7t plus 9, 7t minus 9. Okay. The next two types of questions you're going to see are perfect square trinomials. So a trinomial has 3 terms, and what we would have is something like a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now, if I'm looking here, I see a plus sign and a plus sign. I know my answer has to be something like a plus b times a plus b. So I have plus sign here, so I must have plus signs. Why? Well, when I multiply, I know a positive times a positive is a positive. Therefore, the signs inside the parentheses must be positive. The other perfect square trinomial that you'll see is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. I have a minus sign here. However, I have a plus sign over here. And if I want b squared, I would have to do b times b. Well, here we have a positive times a positive, getting you a positive sum for your b. When I say b, I mean standard form of quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c. Here, if I were looking at my term b in standard form, I would have a negative, okay? So I know a negative times a negative is a positive. So an example. Say we have 144 f squared minus 168 f plus 49. All you would do, again, just like the difference of two squares, is take the square root of your a and the square root of your b. So square root 144 f squared, the square root of 144 is 12, f squared is f. Square root of 49 is 7, okay? Now, the part that you need to look at here are your signs. So I see a minus plus. I know that my answer must look like that. Must look like a minus b times a minus b. So here is my a, here is my b. So your answer is going to be 12f minus 7 times 12f minus 7. Another question you may have is something like 81x squared plus 18x plus 1. So again, we take the square root of 81x squared, that is 9x, square root of 1, that is 1. My answer here is 9x plus 1, 9x plus 1. So if you notice here, we have a plus sign and a plus sign. So I need to have a plus sign and a plus sign. Okay. Now the last type of question you might see on here is something with a GCF. Okay, so you might have something like 72c squared minus 242. 72 is not a perfect square. 242 is not a perfect square. But I know the GCF is 2. So like the other video that I made, I would divide by 2, and I would have my GCF on the outside, 36c squared minus 121. And then I would do the difference of two squares. I would have 2 6c minus 11, 6c plus 11. Because the square root of 36 is 6, square root of c squared is c, square root of 121 is 11. Now, you might get frustrated, get the wrong answer. It's probably because you are going to forget to put the 2 in your answer out in front. Those are going to be the 4 types of questions you will see on the SCI Excel. Good luck.